Detroit's auto heartland. In 2025, over 42,000 factory jobs disappeared. Assembly lines went quiet. Car prices jumped. Dealer lots emptied fast. Asian automakers that once backed U.S. factories are now pulling back. Some are moving north to Canada. Families are paying more. Workers are left waiting. This is not politics. This is an industry shock. So what is really going on? And which automakers are holding on? And which are slipping? 2025 broke a long-held belief that the U.S. auto market could handle policy shocks. It couldn't. Tariffs hit cars, steel, and key parts all at once. A system built on tight timing snapped fast. The first hit was jobs. Assembly lines stopped. Shifts vanished overnight. Then came the ripple effect. Suppliers, diners, schools, entire towns felt it. At the same time, car prices jumped. Monthly payments became impossible for many families already crushed by high loan rates. Buyers rushed to used cars and ran into another wall. Fleets held vehicles longer. Late model trade-ins dried up. 10-year-old sedans suddenly carried premium prices. Popular crossovers sold out in days. Analysts say this squeeze will last. Not weeks, not months, until tariffs ease and production steadies. And while buyers feel the pain, automakers are redrawing the map. Some are pushing money north into Canada's growing EV and battery network. Others are doubling down on U.S. factories to avoid tariffs. This is not one bad decision. It is a full reset of where cars are built and how. Two of the biggest names sit right at the center of it. First, Toyota. Then, Honda. When leaders stumble, the shock hits everyone. Toyota warned tariffs could cost nearly $10 billion. Profit forecasts were slashed. North America flipped from profit to loss. Executives admitted something rare. They said visibility is poor. A temporary US-Japan deal cut tariffs from 27.5% to 15%. But that is still 6 times higher than the old 2.5% rate. Toyota's answer is simple. Build where you sell. More than half of its U.S. vehicles already come from American plants. Battery and parts investments keep rising. For now, Toyota is eating the cost instead of raising prices. Dealers stay calm. Buyers stay loyal. But the damage is real. Billions are gone. Honda faces the same squeeze. Major plants in the U.S. and Canada help. CR-V and Civic hybrid production is shifting stateside. Still, many suppliers depend on imported electronics and drivetrains. Those parts trigger duties. The path forward is clear, but it is slow. This change takes years, not quarters. And while Toyota and Honda fight to hold ground, smaller brands are under even heavier pressure. The pressure hits smaller brands faster. Nissan felt it early. Tariff costs climbed into the billions. Forecasts were pulled back. U.S. plants in Tennessee and Mississippi help. But heavy reliance on imports and Mexico keeps margins thin. Nissan pushed discounts on U.S.-built models like Rogue and Pathfinder. At the same time, some Mexico-built crossovers were paused. Trade rules now shape product plans more than marketing ever did. Subaru faces a harder choice. It depends heavily on the U.S. market. Global scale is limited. Prices moved up across most of the lineup. Analysts warn cost will keep rising unless Subaru boosts U.S. output and brings more parts in from local suppliers instead of Japan. Mazda ran into trouble fast. Exports from Mexico to the U.S. dropped by half. That forced Mazda to lean more on its Alabama joint plant with Toyota. Prices edged higher. Incentives got smaller. Margins stayed fragile. Mitsubishi sits in the toughest spot. Very little U.S. production. A value image that breaks if prices rise too much. Pressure is building. Partnerships. Shared platforms. Or pulling back from certain segments. Survival now depends on tough choices. While these brands try to hold their ground, one brand keeps moving forward. Hyundai took a different path. Instead of pulling back, it moved forward. Profit targets were reset. A large U.S. build plan was rolled out. By 2030, more than 80% of Hyundai's US sales will be built at home. The center of that plan is Georgia, a massive complex aiming for up to 500,000 vehicles a year by 2028, hybrids and EVs side by side. The idea is clear: local steel, local parts, local assembly. Stable prices win buyers. The shift is not cheap. Margins were trimmed. Tariff pressure weighed heavier in later quarters. Then came another problem. Specialist workers from Korea were delayed during work on battery lines in Georgia, an issue that showed how labor rules and trade rules now collide. Executives started pushing for smoother travel rules for technical teams. At the same time, Hyundai expanded plans. More hybrids, longer-range EVs by 2027, a North American pickup before 2030. Kia and Genesis follow the same track. Together, US capacity already tops 1 million units. If tariffs stay, this early move could pay off big. If not, the cost will still linger. And as Hyundai Kia builds faster inside the US, the impact spreads far beyond factories. Consumers feel it. Suppliers feel it. And Canada is moving fast. While automakers adjust, buyers feel it first. Costs move through three paths. Imported vehicles cost more. Foreign parts inside US-built cars raise prices. Steel and aluminum push bills higher again. Most models can't avoid this without costly redesigns. So brands made quiet moves. Sticker prices crept up. Features got trimmed. Dealer support filled the gap where it could. The used market shows the result. New prices ran ahead of paychecks. Trade-ins slowed down. Rental and fleet cars stayed in service longer. Clean late-model vehicles became rare. Buyers with $28,000 to $35,000 to spend lost their sweet spot. Once enough for a safe, newer compact SUV, that budget now lands older crossovers with higher miles and fewer safety upgrades. That shift matters. Family budgets stretch thinner. Safety tech reaches fewer drivers. Long-term costs keep rising. Canada saw the opening. Federal and provincial programs pulled in battery plants, critical minerals, and supplier parks. Policy stayed steady. Trade rules stayed friendly under USMCA. Each new project in Ontario or Quebec changes the map. Build where you sell is no longer a slogan. It's the rule. And that brings everything to one final question. This story is not about companies leaving overnight. It's about a system being reshaped. Toyota and Honda are taking heavy hits to keep production close to buyers. Nissan, Subaru, Mazda, and Mitsubishi are boxed in. Prices move up. Partnership talks grow louder. Some product lines may not survive. Hyundai Kia is betting big on Georgia. Speed and scale are the goal. For buyers, the outcome is simple. Higher prices. Fewer used options. No clear timeline for relief. For workers, the next wave of jobs will follow the fastest builders of local supply chains. Michigan, Georgia, or across the border in Quebec. The race is on, and time is not slowing down. This moment isn't temporary. It's a reset of how cars get built across North America. Toyota and Honda are trying to hold ground by keeping plants close to US buyers, even as costs stay high. Nissan, Subaru, Mazda, and Mitsubishi face harder math. Raise prices and lose buyers, or cut back and lose scale. Some will team up. Some will narrow their lineups. Some may step away from certain markets. Hyundai Kia is pushing speed. Georgia is turning into a major hub. Battery plants, assembly lines, and suppliers are lining up fast. Canada keeps gaining. Stable rules. Clear incentives. Strong access to minerals and power. Ontario and Quebec keep pulling in projects that might have landed in the US a decade ago. The idea of one clear auto heartland is fading. The map is spreading out, and every new plant changes where jobs, money, and future models end up. This isn't about one company or 1 year. It's about how fast the industry can adapt. Toyota and Honda are spending billions to stay steady. Hyundai Kia is spending early to move ahead. Smaller brands are stuck in between, making hard calls with little room to move. For buyers, the pressure stays real. Prices remain high. Used options stay thin. For workers, opportunity follows momentum. Where supply chains lock in first, jobs will follow. The next few years decide a lot. Not just who sells the most cars, but where North America builds its future. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Hyundai Kia's Georgia bet pays off long term, or does it get harder if trade rules ease? And with Canada gaining ground, do you see the center of auto production slowly shifting north? Share your thoughts in the comments.